Hey everyone, welcome back to Tired Old Queen at the Movies. Oso and I are ready for the holidays. We hope you are too. Now let's go see the Tired Old Queen at the Movies, Steve Hayes.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving, Johnny! This year I thought we hadn't done an Errol Flynn movie in a while, and I'd like to do my very favorite Errol Flynn movie, 1937's The Prince and the Pauper, with Errol Flynn, Billy and Bobby Mauch, Claude Rains, and Henry Stevenson. This movie was directed by William Keighley, and he had directed Robin Hood, or part of it. He directed part of this one too. The basic plot of it is this. There are two boys. One is the Prince of Wales, and one is a boy named Tom Canty. And Tom Canty gets inside of Buckingham Palace, and he accidentally meets the Prince of Wales.
What are you doing here, boy?
And the Prince of Wales hasn't had time to really play.
Oh, you couldn't play with me. I'm a beggar boy. I can play with anyone I please.
Claude Rains is Henry VIII's right-hand assistant, and he's talking to him constantly, who's the prince's father. And he's always trying, you should give more responsibility to me. I could really use that kind of responsibility. The boy's just a boy. And, and he's a nasty character.
You'll forgive me if I say the description greatly resembles that of a palace rat.
You mean?
I mean you.
Nobody played those reptilian sort of characters better than he did. So the prince never gets a chance just to be a boy. And he meets this boy from the street, and they start playing together, and he uses the royal seal and breaks nuts with it, and they laugh about that, and they run around the palace, and all of a sudden they get in front of a mirror, and they look at each other, and they're identical. So they decided, just as a lark, just trade clothes and switch. So that's what they do. And the prince goes down to try to get into the front of the palace, and he's thrown out for being a peasant boy.
Are you mad?
And suddenly he's on the street, and he knows no one. He can't make anybody believe who he is.
I'll have you drawn and quartered for this. Do you realize you're addressing your king?
In those days, of course, you didn't see the people that much. So they might have seen him from a distance, but nobody really recognized him on the street. So he runs it afoul with a few people. They give him a hard time, and they try to rob him. They beat him up, and he results to stealing, and he gets a feel of what it's really like to be on the other side, where the people he's going to rule are like. And he meets this roguish guy who saves him, who's Errol Flynn.
Do you know what happens to people what stick their noses where it ain't wanted?
Oh, yes. This.
Now!
He says, "You do believe that I am really going to be the king, don't you?" And Errol Flynn goes, "Oh, sure."
I tell you I am the king, as you'll learn much to your regret if you don't keep a civil tongue.
Very good, sire.
Errol Flynn always has that roguish, "Why, sure, your majesty." And they have this adventure, and they go off. And meanwhile, Claude Rains has sent Alan Hale as a henchman to find him, because he realizes that the prince is not the prince. So he says to Alan Hale, "Get out there and find him and kill him, because I can do a lot with this kid. He'll do whatever I tell him. He's afraid of me. The prince would not be afraid of me. So what we need to do is you need to find him and eliminate him."
But, my lord, that would be murder.
His life or yours, Captain?
Alan Hale very seldom ever played a bad guy, but in this part, he is. And he goes on this search, so he's always in the background. He's always just where they've left. He keeps missing them. And Errol Flynn, they get in scrapes, and they have little adventures together, and they just bond. They bond together. The prince knights him, even though he's a beggar boy now, Errol Flynn plays along with it.
Arise.
And he shows affection to the prince.
What's the matter?
My dad's dead.
So one thing leads to several, and it all works out in the end. This is Warner Brothers at its best. It's a typical example of it during the 1930s, during the Depression. The one business in America that really made money was the movie business. They did a replica in this movie of Westminster Abbey that is unbelievable for the coronation scene. You're going to be amazed at this set. It's just so sumptuous. This whole processional and the whole majesty of it. And it stirs you up, and it's filled with all of those Warner Brothers character actors that are so wonderful in every film.
Oh, I can manage to keep my eyes open, especially when there's something handsome to look at.
These two twin boys, the Mauch twins, Billy and Bobby, they first started out in Anthony Adverse, which is Warner's first big spectacle made in 1936. They did things that typical twins do. They swapped parts and didn't let anybody know that they were swapping parts. So sometimes Billy showed up, sometimes Bobby showed up. The next day, the people never knew it. Well, when they went to do The Prince and the Pauper, Billy was sort of known to be the better actor of the two. And Warner Brothers only wanted to hire one of them. And the mother said, nah, you hire them both or I'm going to shop Bobby off to this other studio. You'll have them competing with each other. So why they didn't want to use the two of them anyway, I don't know. But they did. So they took them both on as a package. I don't know why their careers didn't take off beyond this movie because they're so appealing in this and they break your heart. They have a smile. These boys have a smile that just lights up the screen. It's just fabulous. Claude Rains had a distinguished career in England. He was being groomed as the next great Shakespearean actor, but he came to the States. He ended up doing The Invisible Man, which set his voice forever in the public mind. And it was one of the most incredible speaking voices in films, just so developed.
You will observe, my lords, how amusingly futile is the bark of an old sea dog when his teeth have been pulled.
John Gielgud used to refer to him as, oh yes, he went off to Hollywood. Most amazing voice I ever heard. He had this incredible diction and he played these villains to perfection as he had done in Robin Hood and he would do later on in other films.
You don't want that pretty little head of yours chopped off, do you? Not to have your mother see the crows tearing tufts from a skull on London Bridge.
It's a typical adventure, resounding movie with a score by Erich Wolfgang Korngold, who did all of the Errol Flynn movies. He did Robin Hood and got the Oscar for Robin Hood. He later did Seahawk. He did Captain Blood. And he did, he did King's Row, which we did on Tired Old Queen in the Movies, which was the movie that inspired John Williams to write the score for Star Wars. If you remember, King's Row goes da 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 da. And Star Wars has that da 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 da. You know, the same thing. When he wrote King's Row, he thought he was doing another Errol Flynn movie. And he turned in the score and they said, no, this is a movie about a small town at the turn of the century. And he went, oh my gosh. But of course, it all worked out. This is romance, adventure, and has all of the heart that the Mark Twain story that it was taken from has. And I think for Thanksgiving, you can't beat Errol Flynn, Billy and Bobby Mauch, Alan Hale, and the incomparable Claude Rains in William Keighley's The Prince and the Pauper. Happy Thanksgiving from all of us at Tired Old Queen at the Movies.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Errol Flynn was such a naughty boy. He was a rogue from beginning to end.
Delicious thing